May it be a light for you in dark places when all other lights go out.
Hey guys, this is DCHL, Devin here.
And this is DCHL Walker.
And welcome to our next Light in the Dark video after Nova.
Woo!
We are starting to get back into the swing of our videos, so you should start seeing bat reps and other videos coming up very soon. But since these are easy, me and Walker are just going to go ahead and hit these. Also, we got a couple important topics to discuss today.
Yep.
So we're actually going to be mostly covering those and just handling a couple of the questions that we had. So just going over some of the questions we have. We'll jump right into it.
Let's do this.
We have our first question from Jack Cole Animation. He says, sorry for all the questions lately, guys, but you are great at replying fast and reliably. I feel like the question is really stupid, but does a model carrying a pike get -1 to the duel roll, but +1 to the wound as if it was a two-handed weapon?
All right, first off, we love the questions, and we're glad we can respond quickly.
Yeah.
Don't worry, there's no stupid questions. Devin asks them all the time, and so we're good there.
I keep Walker used to it.
So the pike rule is very simple. It's because it has its own special rule that it can support 2 deep, and unlike a spear that can only support 1 back, it does not get a bonus like a two-handed axe or anything else like that.
It is wielded two-handed, but yeah, it's not a two-handed weapon.
Right.
So yep, you actually don't even get the -1. You don't get any penalty at all.
No penalty, but you can support 2 backs so long as both guys and the other guy in front has a pike as well.
All right, so let's go ahead into the next question. Now this one isn't so much a question, just something I had. All right, so Peter Apostoloris, he's actually a guy from our local area. He says, "Hey guys, great job on all your videos. My question is that if I can't make it to Nova, is Friday and Saturday, would there be a point in me coming Sunday?" So now, obviously this question is late because Nova was, 2 weeks ago, but or a week ago. But the reason I'm picking this question is because basically it sums up to, is Nova even worth coming for one day? Now, as everyone knows, Nova's a bit more. It's a bit pricier because you're paying for a convention, not just a Hobbit tournament. So there's a lot to do. It's actually really cheap. Actually, when I say pricey, guys, I'm talking about it's not $20. It's like 40. Like
no, 40 was still for all 4 days for a pass.
Yeah, and that's exactly what.
So to answer your question before Devin confuses the out of all of our audience. Is yes, it's worth it to come even for that one day because hey, you get to meet all the other Hobbit enthusiasts that are all around. It cost you $10 to just kind of wander around and look at
$20.
It was $20 for a day.
Yeah, it's $20 for it. So yeah, they shrink the price. It's like cut in half for a day pass.
If you buy your day pass beforehand,
then
it's cheaper. So that even if you could come for one day, and plus on Sunday after the award ceremony, guys were hanging out and playing some games. So you could have easily done a pickup game on one of the tables. Got to play some of the GBHL guys from afar. One of us, if you wanted to. We were all hanging out, doing various things, running around.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why. So basically, to answer your question, yeah, if you only have one day to come to Nova or to any other of our tournaments. Yeah, absolutely, swing on by. Though Nova will probably be the only convention-style tournament. Oh no, Historicon.
Historicon, yeah.
Yeah. So even Historicon, just
I only went to Historicon for one day. So.
Yep, there you go. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and move on from that. Go to another question by Jack Cole Animation. He says, say if I had Dwinger and Forlong fighting a York Warrior. Dwinger rolled terribly, say a 1 and 2. Forlong rolled highest, 5. And the Uruk rolled a 5. Would it go to a roll-off because my model with the highest dice roll is equal fight to the Uruk? Or would I win because Dwinger has higher fight despite his dice roll being worse? Alright, so yeah, Dwinger would win.
So to explain that a little bit more in depth is basically when you're in a fight, you always use the highest fight value for your side. So if it's fight value 6, that means any of your dice count as fight value 6 for that fight.
Even if it was like so even if you use like Forlong's might to might his own rolls, yeah, all their dice, yeah, everything, just as Walker said, they're all fighting. Whatever the highest one is, so.
Yeah. Now, using might rolls, you can only use on the dice that character rolled, so that's why you roll them separately.
Exactly.
So.
So, all right, next question from Jay Donahoe, as he says, you need to change the name to North American Hobbit League. Now, of course, we had a little bit of a banter about this, and I basically talked about Canada. The reason we don't call ourselves the North American Hobbit League is because, well, Canada has their own Hobbit League, so we'd be sort of like entrenching on their name.
We'd be liars.
We would be. So, and also, I think the other reason we couldn't really cover like certain parts, like the West Coast. The advantage that Britain has over us is that England is the size of like
New England.
Yeah, states.
They're the size of a whole bunch of our states.
Yeah. So the way we could possibly, I mean, to become as big is to say we can, you know, run all of North America. That would be insane.
That would be really cool. So if you guys are in the West Coast watching this and you want to be part of the DCHL and make the North American Hobbit League, please send us a text message.
The most we would do is call it the East Coast Hobbit League, but we're not going to rename it. That would be a logistical nightmare for websites and stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, it would be kind of implied. Okay, DC is on the East Coast. So, and he mentions here that, you know, maybe an East Coast and West Coast going against each other like a World Cup style Hobbit Championship for regional leagues.
That'd be really cool.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not even just East Coast versus West Coast. It's, hey, we have a group that got started up Chicago.
Yep.
Boston. We have a group going up in Boston now. Having all those groups come together for Nova, or, you know, across the country when there's the other conventions, if they ever do some Hobbit stuff over on that side of the country too, getting together up in Canada and have all these groups get together and fight over the trophies. So bragging rights, hey, you know, DCHL and DCHL, like we did for this time around with the two groups.
We only had two this time, but yeah, when you have more people come, even Nova recognizes it and gives prizes to your entire group depending on how many points you score as a team. So we didn't do that this year at Nova because we didn't have enough groups show up, but it is something that's acknowledged. Yeah, definitely something we'll get to. I can see only the Hobbit community growing, so
which is awesome.
So, all right, guys. So we're going to get into the big subjects. Actually, before that, I have to answer one more question. This question is from Tim Robin. He says, I have a really important question about the King's Champion of Durinsfolk. The King's Champion and two Heralds are all under the same point value, but they have separate profiles. So are they treated as separate heroes? Does this mean that the Heralds have to take a separate courage test when the force is broken?
Yes.
Yep.
They are separate heroes that share the same points cost.
Yeah. The easiest comparison to this is Myrna Jar, Eladon over here.
Yep.
All the Heralds have to test. So, all right. Now we can get into the big stuff.
All right, have a seat, guys. Devin needs to get serious.
Get serious, guys.
Maybe grab your favorite stuffed animal, whatever you need to do.
So basically, I wanted to take this.
I said that with a straight face, too.
You did? So basically, we're going to take this time to talk about three things that have been kind of burning up the Hobbit community on Facebook, and two of them from Adam Marcel. So the first one, he says, another question, what does everyone feel is a fair price for a large tournament? Just remember, the money put in will be used for prizes and such. Do you guys have a limit on what you would pay? Now, I bring up this question because I think it's an interesting one. Now, keep in mind that I don't think in this case he's talking about Nova. So a lot of people were a bit concerned that Nova costs, like, it was like $40 for the convention pass and $30 for the Lord of the Rings tournaments. And the reason it's that way is because it's a convention. It's not just a tournament. It's not like, hey, you come there to play Hobbit.
And all those profits are going to charity too, guys, for Nova at least. But for your local games and stuff like that,
exactly.
What we've done, we did actually almost a
drop zone. That was like $20, right?
We did a $20 buy-in. So let's see, first place got like almost $200, which was really cool. It's dropped $20, and there was what, about 10 or 11 of us or 12 of us? Or
yeah. Well, keep in mind that the pot was skewed a bit because I contributed.
Right.
But,
so the pot was bigger for us, but yeah, I wouldn't mind even if you do it every once in a while and it's $20 and all of that goes towards your prize support, and instead of just first, second, and third, maybe you get a couple more, like fourth and fifth get like some money too.
Exactly.
That would be really cool. I have no problem dropping $10 for a tournament. Easy.
The limit, I would say, to answer your second question, Adam, is 40, I'm thinking. If all you're doing is playing Hobbit, like I said, Nova's a convention. You're doing tons of stuff. If you guys watch the videos like that the GBHL put up, it's a lot more. But if all you're doing is just saying, come, show up, play Hobbit, leave.
40 would be really high. I would
40
say
is
20.
no, I'm saying limit. I really would think 20 would be the fairest price to pay at most. If you breach 40, then you're just asking for a disaster. So
I wouldn't even go over 20.
You wouldn't even go, okay.
No, 20's pushing it because, you know, some of the guys are still making minimum wage and stuff like that. And so
Exactly.
$20 is like 4 hours of work for them or whatever after
I'll
taxes.
even put it this way. A convention like Historicon that we also do in Cold Wars, which is another one we want to do, those conventions are even less stellar than Nova is. They're more like...
They're still good.
Yeah, they're good, but you don't do anything. You just show up and
play,
you play and then you leave. So
There's
once
the flea
again,
market.
there is a flea market. That's true. But I mean, even for that, it's $20 because all you're doing is showing up, playing, and leaving.
Yeah.
You get to look at some cool stuff. That's neat, but there's no real events. So that is what I would say on that. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. And he says, hey guys, I wanted to give everyone a heads up now so that they have lots of time to plan. In October 2016, I plan on heading to England for Desolation of Stockport. If anyone else is interested, let me know. I'll be in discussion with some of the GBHL guys, as well as Devin from the DCHL, so that we can all arrange the details. So this is a big one.
Yes. Awesome.
The DCHL does plan to go to England next year. We are going to be going to one of their Desolation Stockports, and the plan is to also go in October. So October is a big month as far as things because the big confliction that gets created here is that Nova, which is the DCHL main tournament. So GBHL obviously have Desolation Stockport. That's their big one.
Yep.
All right. Ours is Nova, and to be honest, if any American knows, there's not really many big conventions that support Hobbit here. So hanging on to Nova is a big deal. So we have to devote most of our energy to Nova. With them being so close together, I mean, we are going to go. We just don't know how many of us can go.
So Devin's fear is that people won't go to, if they go to England, they won't come to Nova.
Well, no.
So
a lot of them
what we need to let the community know, and this is the important thing, is save your money now so you can go to both.
We intend to collaborate this. There is. I don't know how much GBHL James and them have revealed yet, so we're just leaving it as simple as what this post is. But, I mean, there is a collaboration of a sense. We're trying to make this basically the World Cup. As mentioned in one of our old comments, there is a World International Tournament in every 3 places. We're trying to get one also in Canada. I know Canada has a little bit of a different problem doing that, but even still, we're trying to keep visiting them as well. So... but yeah, we do intend to go in October. We do know a lot of the guys who are coming, who came to Nova last year, are coming to both Nova and also England. And we'll be coordinating with them as well, the guys from Boston, the guys from Chicago. Yep. And I even believe LTR SPG Battles might be making a trip to England too. So
we are becoming international.
It's an international Hobbit League, guys. We banded together. So yes, we do plan on going. And so if you guys who didn't come to Nova and can't come to Nova next year, say you're in England or Germany or Sweden or whatever, and you want to see us at Desolation of Stockport, come to Desolation of Stockport in October, and you will see both the OSBGL and the DCHL.
Yeah. So on that subject, while we're on it,
sure.
I've been having a hard time deciding on what other good army I need to do, and I would love to bring one to both either Nova or Stockport or up to Canada later. So I'm actually going to put this out to you guys, our viewers. What army, what good army specifically, would you love to see me, DCHL Walker, build, paint, and play with? We'll take voting for like the next 2 weeks, I think. So that sounds good.
Well, I'll keep bringing this question up actually, just because I'm actually interested in what you guys would like to see me bring and DCHL Rob bring, because
Yeah.
As you guys know, some of the best hobby players we have, which is us three, some of them, I mean, we had some really good ones in Nova, but some of them didn't get to play at Nova, so this is when we get to go to England and take back the Staff of Power.
Take back the prize. So, what I plan on doing is, once you guys finish voting on what army I should do, that I would do a blog, basically, mapping out how I painted up the army, what I did, how long it took me, and I'm going to paint it up to a high quality too. And conversions, I love doing conversions.
Oh, and he'll bring it to Canada too.
Yeah, I'll bring it all over. So please, guys, let us know what army you want me to do. Do you want in on this too?
Yeah, I mean, hell, right? Tell us all three.
Yeah.
I usually will probably bring my Armorians, but hey, whatever.
Or his hobbits.
Hobbits. The only reason I made it bring them is because they tend to do that run and shoot thing, which I tend to like to get in there. But hey, whatever. So, last question, and this is the big burning one in the community. Don Barnett, whom I assume is a major leader in the OSBGL, has said he's had a simmering issue on the back burner for quite a while now, and it's recently seen a fair bit of discussion. That issue is having an official FAQ for our group. So we'd like to know how everyone feels about this issue. Now, I'm going to pull down the question because it's actually a very long thread. I mean, a really long thread. So they reached out to us and asked, hey, do we have an FAQ? The answer was no. We don't play in enough tournaments to have a crazy FAQ. Like, we have a big player base, but nothing like the size of the GBHL. So the big question is, do we need one? And the thought process I have here, yes, we do. We do need an FAQ. But the thought process I have here is, we're trying to build an international hobby league. We're going to Britain, we're going to Canada, Canada's going to Britain, Britain's coming to us. It makes the most sense for us all to play with the same rules. If I go to Britain and suddenly my playstyle has to change because I play differently in America, it's going to throw everything kind of crazy out of the loop.
Yeah.
So I'm going to respond to Don Barnett and Adam Marcel, the Canadian guys, and to also Devin, but I'm basically saying here publicly, we will be using the GBHL FAQ.
Now,
pretty much on a permanent basis.
The big thing with that is with all the groups, if you have contention with one of the rules that they decided on, email them. We're doing the same thing. We
actually already convinced them of one that they are probably going to change.
The Sauron fading the ring save, they during Nova, they actually decided with us on that. So that's one that's going to change. But remember, we're a community now, guys. So if you want something changed, we're going to go with the GBHL because they play in the most tournaments. They're one of the older groups and everything like that. Plus, they already have one written. Saves all the rest of us the hassle of writing one.
The other big thing about them, though, is that when they make an FAQ, it's supported by GW most of the time, or it's really a community-based vote.
Yeah.
They don't do anything to, like, nerf it. They don't do anything to, like, oh, they think this is too powerful or too ridiculous or this needs to be better. It's literally just in the spirit of answering the questions that need to be answered and getting the most official source to answer it.
Yep.
And I think that is exactly how an international FAQ should be handled. So we can call this almost the White Council FAQ, really, because it's like a bunch of different nations, basically. And you guys can, and Damien's already put it out there, you guys can absolutely feel free to challenge them on anything.
Yeah.
So
friendly debate, guys. Let's not be mean.
Yeah.
We are all Hobbit players, after all.
So naturally, as a community across the world, there will be massive debates over everything. The most recent one being the demolition bomb. Does it kill both horse and rider? D6 wounds on both.
Well, yeah.
You know what? Honestly, though, it's D6 on both. But
yeah, it's D6 because they're separate models, technically.
But, well, that's all for debate. Don't forget. But the thing is, ultimately, if we want to last as a community, if we want to last as a group that's all over the world, even if you don't agree with the ruling, say you're an individual player, and most of the Canadians, most of the DCHL, most of the GBHL all said, yes, D6 to both horse and rider. And you're like, that's ridiculous. Well, just imagine if it, I don't know, GW made the ruling. It's like, okay, we all may have disagreements about how GW may have handled a certain thing, but if it's the way the rule is, it's like, just kind of go with it as long as it's not broken or ridiculous, which most of the time it's not. I've never even seen it that case. Because, I mean, that's the only way you can come to Nova where people from Colorado and people from Chicago and people from Britain and people from Sweden are coming to Nova or destination of Stockport. Yeah, in Australia. And then you're sitting there being like, well, I don't play by that rule, so no, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it wouldn't. So, yeah.
But anyway, yep, that's the official ruling from DCHL. We'll be posting that up. And that'll be it for today. Those are the big topics. And we'll be giving you guys bat rep really soon, guys. Yes, actually, we already have one filmed. So, yeah. So, basically, look forward to that. And we'll be posting, actually, we had a couple other videos in the works that we wanted to do.
Hobby videos.
Yeah, hobby videos, and Rob wanted to do the
tactics
videos. Now, a lot of you guys heard in the last video that the Canadians were going to start posting on channel. They still are. We had to make some minor tweaks to the video, but that will also be up, a tactics video and stuff like that. So, all right, then that's all the news for today. I will see you guys very soon.
Later, guys.